Tatiana Poliakevitch, Community Development Librarian at Alberta Public Library. As a Community Development Librarian at Alberta Public Library, I work with 4 demographic groups that we feel need extra support from the library. I was actually brought to Red Deer by Red Deer Public Library, and my position was created so that the library would be better tuned to the needs of the community. And when I was brought in Red Deer, those 4 demographic groups were recognized as the groups that really would use some more research into their needs and different things that library could make come true for them in terms of programs, services, and special collections. And these 4 groups are seniors, aboriginals, immigrants and newcomers to Red Deer, and people with disabilities.
Great.
I've been at Red Deer Public Library for almost 5 years, and over the course of those 5 years we've done very interesting projects for all these different groups. So we created the foreign films collection that is now incorporated in our major DVD collection. We run arts parks and arts inclusive programming for everyone at Red Deer Public Library. We right now are running a very interesting series for seniors, The Time of Your Life. But while I've been working with all those groups and we were coming with different things to do, when I came across the idea of a human library, I thought that human library would actually be an excellent opportunity to bring all the groups together and help Red Deer community to understand different things about different people who live in our community and maybe understand a little bit better them without making assumptions. So doing a human library event during Children's Festival was very interesting. The new thing for us was that we tried to have some fairy tale characters that we thought children would have a lot of preconceived ideas about, and we would like to challenge them in a humorous way. And this part of human library was very successful. Our Goldilocks and Big Bad Wolf and Cinderella, Red Riding Hood and Fairy Godmother characters were very popular. But I must say that children's preconceived ideas very hard to overcome. Like our Big Bad Wolf tried very hard to tell his part of the story, that maybe the 3 little pigs really, was not so helpless in that story, and maybe there was some other factors that really resulted in the tragedy, but it was very hard. So I think we should continue working in that direction, and yeah, maybe have some more fairy tale characters, maybe in our storytelling tent next year during Children's Festival, because it was really great to see children come in and talk into their favorite. And take out a living book, which you may have some stereotypes about, or some prejudices, or just some plain assumptions. And once you actually meet a person who's a real person, you can ask different questions and find out if your assumptions or prejudices or stereotypes are true, and sometimes they are, or they are not true. Basically, what is really neat about the idea of a human library, and this is why I think it's so popular, and it's a global initiative, and it's a global concept that is being used in all countries around the world, is that it facilitates a real dialogue, and it facilitates a real dialogue in your community with people who live right there, but you may not be even thinking about, you know, talking to them, and or in some cases you don't know that people like that live in that community, and it really opens your horizons and really brings some questions to yourself about, you know, what it's like, how many different ways of life there are, and how wonderful it is that we are all so different and we can share those differences and embrace them and celebrate them. So far we had two events, two human library events in Red Deer, and one was held during Alberta Arts Days in September 2010, and the second one was held just recently during Children's Festival. We had 12 living books during first event, and we had about 30 living books during the second event. So you can see that event grew, and right now we are in the process of evaluating the second event and planning for the future. We hope to have one more. The second event was also very successful because we partnered with CARE, Central Alberta Refugee Effort, and they helped us to recruit very interesting living books, people from different countries. And I think that that's the future of the human library. The library should work in partnership with variety of community organizations, like and some events like Children's Festival, to really bring the human library to as many people as possible. And while evaluating our second event, we will make sure that our third will be tried in a different place, and it'll be really, really good for the community as well. So it just, Why human library? Well, for very many reasons. As you can judge from my accent, I am not originally Canadian. I came to Canada 13 years ago. I lived in a number of different cities, a number of different countries, and it's really important for me to be included in a global context anywhere you go, and not so much materialistic context, but the context of ideas. And this is why when I came across the human library idea, which was actually very, very happily embraced by Calgary Public Library and Edmonton Public Library, it also I thought that it would be really neat to use it in Red Deer community. And actually later this year, when I was reading a book, I'm a librarian, so there is a book, and the book is called 13 Ways to Kill Your Community. But of course, this book is not talking about ways of killing your community. It tells you about what you can do to make sure that your community is really vibrant and thriving community. So one of the ways that a local author, Albertan author, suggests to do is to look around in your province, in your country, in other countries if it's needed, and find successful initiatives, great ideas that worked, and use them. Do not invent the wheel, but really adopt best practices and make them their own, make them relevant to your community. And that's what we tried to do with two human library events that we've had in Red Deer in 2010 and 2013.